They say the bigger the lie, the more people will believe it. The runaway mayor of the city of Mariupol made a claim that there are at least 3,000 to 9,000 people that have been buried at this particular cemetery on the outskirts of Mariupol in the city of Mangush. Now, he made a claim, according to the satellite images provided by an American company, claimed there are 30 by 45 meter trenches here in Mariupol, and that at least 3,000 to 9,000 people have been buried here. And also several Western media outlets have picked up that news, claiming that Russian forces did this, and they also said that this information cannot be independently verified. Well, I am here now. I've had an unlimited access to this cemetery here. I have discovered, well, up to 300 new individual graves here, and I walked by all of them. Now, most of the graves have a placard with a name, surname, patronymic, and a date of birth as well. Some of the graves here only have a number, so that means they have not been identified. But that's a far cry from what the mayor, the runaway mayor of Mariupol, is saying, that this is a mass grave. I noticed a group of cemetery workers that were digging a fresh grave. I waited until they finished their job and came over to them to find out whether they know anything about what was going on here, what these graves are.
Of course, this place would be closed. This is all intended for people. Human beings are buried. These are not mass graves, and they don't dump them into a common grave here. A coffin and a grave are intended for every person, even if he is a soldier of the Ukrainian army or a civilian. This is a human being.
This is nonsense and fakes. There is one grave for one person here. There are even graves for soldiers of the Ukrainian army, coffins for everyone. If he is identified, he has a grave and a sign, and if not, he has a number, so he could be found.
Now, there are freshly dug graves here. Nobody is denying the fact that civilians have indeed died in the city of Mariupol, but once again, this is not a mass grave. Each grave is individual. Now, I came here with a colleague of mine, Yeva Bartlett. First of all, your impressions from what you've seen here today and from what you've read earlier.
So here's a headline from The Guardian. It says Russian forces accused of secret burials of Mariupol civilians, and it says the corpses are thrown into a mass grave. Now, other reports were saying there are trenches 30 meters wide, and to the reader it gives an implication of a pit with a number of bodies thrown into it and then covered up. What we see here are orderly rows. Sometimes there's rows of 4. In this case, there are empty graves here, not yet filled, but the media is not noting. They're including this in their tally. And these are all orderly. When it's possible, the names have been given, the date of birth. When not, they are given numbers. These claims are never substantiated. They're always claims made by people who are not even on location. And in small print, you will say, you know, we were told or we were led to believe. But there's never any concrete evidence behind the claims because they don't need it. All they need is hefty propaganda, emotional scenes, and it's very persuading to the public.